Here we are, lunch for the soul time. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is a time when we can just reflect, share an incredibly interesting story with you, a story of faith, a story of just medical marvel here in the Houston area. So please welcome Evan Sims, professional basketball player turned local coach who is enhancing lives each and every day. Thanks for joining me on Lunch for the Soul.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, you have an incredible story to tell, and a lot of people will probably not believe it when I tell them what happened to you when you were a teenager. So just a little
hmm
over 10 years ago, you had a
hmm
massive stroke when you were only 19 years, and I say young, 19 years young, not 19 years old. My goodness, what happened?
So I was at the YMCA training with a few of my teammates that were going off to play basketball in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at a local community college, and we're just out there, practicing, our games and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I just stumbled back and I couldn't talk. Like I was like a blank. I looked at them with a blank stare and just couldn't say anything. And they're like, I've always been a jokester, someone who loves to play a lot. And they're like, yo, Evan, stop playing. If you're being funny, now's not the time. I just stared at him with a blank stare, and all I could say was. So lucky for me, my sister was there at the YMCA, so they went to go get her off the. She was back in the weight room on the bikes and something. So I went and got her, brought her in, and said, and she came back. She like I said, I'm a big jokester. She said, "Hey, Evan, stop playing. If you're being for real, stop playing." I just looked at her blankly and just said, That's all I could say. And push came to shove. She called my mother, and my mother got on the phone, was like, "Hey, Evan, stop playing. If you're playing, I just can say So she rushed out from the gallery area, which is like maybe 40 minutes away. She said with her hazards on going 100 miles per hour down to get me. So she came to get me and took me to the hospital. And then when she took me to the hospital, they ran a whole bunch of tests on me. And then finally, they figured out what was going on and did a CAT scan of my brain. And then that's when it showed I was having a stroke. So that's, in a nutshell, all that happened that day.
And that's probably one of the last things doctors were thinking of, right? You've got this young, healthy 19-year-old athlete,
hmm
and stroke is probably the last thing on their
hmm
minds.
It was.
How scary. And it was a massive stroke. So you had a
hmm
lot of physical therapy, of all kinds of rehab to do, right?
hmm
Speech therapy.
All that. Had to teach myself how to read again. It's actually funny because when I can remember back when I was in the hospital, we actually went to the facility they wanted me to go to rehab and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I remember her bringing out the cost sheet. Whoo, it was a pretty penny. It was a pretty penny. And if I could at the time, I'd tell my mom, don't do that. We can do rehab at home, which is what she ended up doing. But I couldn't say that, because I'm like, wow. I'm looking at the cost, and I'm just like, I couldn't say anything. I'm just looking at my eyes was like this, seeing how much it would cost for all that. And she ended up declining, and we did physical therapy at home. So my grandmother flew down from Shreveport, Louisiana, and she came down, took on the whole process of teaching me how to read and stuff again by reading a kitty Bible. It's actually, if I had it with me, I can show you guys. It was a kitty Bible, just like little kid books. I'm like stories that happened in the Bible, and it was like really, really, dumbed down to where a kid could understand, and had to learn off reading that, and that basically got me to where I am now.
It's just incredible to think about you being a college student who's having to learn to read again. Were you in a place with your brain? And obviously there was some damage done at the time where you could be
Mhm.
frustrated and say, "Are you kidding me?" Or were
Ooh.
you just in that mode of let's get this done? What was that like to accept having to learn all those things again as a
Oh,
man?
it was frustrating. I'd be lying if I told you it was all easy and things like that.
Mhm.
Actually, thank you. Here is the Bible, little
Oh,
kitty
you have
Bible that I had. My first study Bible, kitty version. It's what my grandmother had me reading.
it.
Little kitty books.
Oh my goodness, that is
So
incredible. That is
it,
it. That's magic right there that helped
I,
change your life.
yeah, it was very frustrating. I'd read it and I'd skip over some words because I couldn't pronounce them. And they're easy words like play and things like that, but I couldn't say it. I knew what it said, but I couldn't say it. I'd skip over it. Then my grandmother was so diligent. She was like, "Hey, Evan, that's not what that thing says. Let's go back." I'd just be like, "Oh." But I was in that mind frame. Let's get it done because I need to learn this again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is very frustrating.
Well, thank
Especially.
goodness for family and
Hmm.
amazing ones who could just stop
Hmm.
their lives at that time and do everything to enhance yours. All right, let's fast forward. A few years go by, you're doing well, you're taking a
Hmm.
baby aspirin, you've got a monitor implanted in your heart to keep an eye on you, sending
Hmm.
signals back to your doctor, but you have another stroke. Oh,
So the next one was luckily a mini stroke, but it actually happened. I went to China to play basketball, and I came back that February. I'm 30 now, so I was 26. So
mhm.
I came back that February. I think it was 2017. 17. I come back from China in February, and a few months go by. I'm still, of course, training to go back and play overseas. But July happens, or I think Father's Day is what, June, I believe. And so June happens. Father's Day's here. I took my father out. We went to go have some. Took him out to a local wing bar. It's called Pluckers. Had a few to drink. Of course, at that time, I'm not a big drinker because I'm a professional athlete, so I'm not drinking like that. So I had a few beers, and I get back home, and it's late, and I just I just noticed I can't like quite talk and articulate my thoughts. And my dad's, in his room, winding down, going to bed, and I just go in his room and I try to say stuff to him. I couldn't say it, and of course he says like, Evan, stop playing. You just need to go to bed, sleep it off. So I go back in my room. Sports Center comes on. It was a caption that pulled up on Sports Center, and I'm trying to read it because I know, of course, I know the what happens. I've had a stroke before, so I know the symptoms you get. So I'm trying to read this little caption on Sports Center. I couldn't, and I just get mad. I turn my TV off and I just go to sleep. So I wake up the next morning and call my mother. She was actually in Shreveport, Louisiana, visiting her mother, and I called her. And I remember an Astros game was the day before. It was something a great play that a player named Marvin Gonzalez made
Mhm.
of the play that Marvin Gonzalez made, but I couldn't say Marvin Gonzalez. I would say, I couldn't say Marvin Gonzalez. And she said, Evan, something's going on. Hold on, give me a second. She hangs up for me, calls my sister, who was actually, she moved out 1 year prior. So
Mhm.
calls her, Chelsea, to get on to the house and take Evan to the hospital. He's having another stroke. So she comes over there, rushes over there, said, Evan, let's go to the hospital. And she's a nurse in training at the time, so she calls one of her nurse friends, and she said, Evan's having maybe another stroke. What can he do? And luckily, the guy said, yeah, chew like 5 aspirins or something like that, crunch it up, and have him take it. So I chew that, take that, and we go to the hospital, do another CAT scan on my brain, and it shows.
There you go. Now, this is a neat part of the story that I just adore, and that is you were playing just basketball with some buddies, just hanging
Mhm,
out. And one of those people that you played with on a regular basis happened to be a cardiologist, and you had no idea. And then you find out, and because of your friendship with him, you say, you know what? I think I'm ready for the
mhm,
next treatment. So you
mhm.
had the next treatment. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So actually, me playing ball at the YMCA. It was actually a pager on the bleachers. It's between games. Everybody's getting water, getting ready for the next game. And I go to the bleachers. I see a pager. I pick it up. I said, "It's 2017 at the time. Who has a pager? Who has a pager anymore? Because this is the time back between February before Father's Day. So between those months is when I met Dr. Herman. I said, "Who has a pager anymore?" And everybody was like, "I don't know." Then Dr. Herman came in. He said, "Oh, that's mine." I said, "You have a pager for what?" He said, "For work." And I said, "What kind of work do you do?" He said, "I'm actually a doctor." And I said, "What kind of doctor, if you don't mind me asking?" He said, "I'm a cardiologist." And it struck to me at that point. I said, "Hey, I have a bad ticker, so you know."
That's a
Uh,
perfect situation here.
mhm,
Well, your doctor showed me the device that he was able to
mhm,
they figured out that you had a hole in your heart, and the
mhm,
device they put in there to fix that it's just so intriguing to see how all that worked.
mhm,
What is the likelihood that it took you playing ball with your surgeon or your doctor for you to really feel
mhm.
comfortable with all of this?
So, like the thing with sports, I mean, I think sports is a big stress reliever. Sports is something you can do, like
Yeah.
for a hobby. Like let's say you're having a rough day or something. You go out
Mhm.
and play sports, whatever it is, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, whatever it is. You go out, and then you can like put all that stuff in the back of your back of your mind and just play.
Yeah.
Do what you love doing. And that's what it was. And meeting other guys, you get a certain level of camaraderie. You start to like them. It doesn't care what their background is. It doesn't care about all that. You just learn to love somebody. You learn to appreciate them.
And
You
I
get to
think
know.
it's incredibly special. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but how special to see you praying. And you told me that you pray
Mhm.
before all your games, even at the Y. How did
Yes,
that tradition come about?
So I've always been like a religious guy, but my mother I grew up in the church, and growing up in the church when you're like in middle school, of course, I was falling asleep in church, and I get pinched, then wake up like,
Mhm.
ow, and then I went through a period where I didn't go to church very often. But then
Mhm.
it's funny how when you grow up in church, that the spiritual is like embedded in you, and then like later on in my life, I say, hey, I need to go back to church and I need to get my faith, strong again. So I'm doing that, and then it just comes on back when I was brought up. So I was
Yeah.
brought up.
Oh, I love that so much. And I think it's really important for people to see this and to know that faith has made a
Mhm.
difference in your life. Now, what's going on here?
So I actually played in the league. It's called the Gus League, and
Uh-huh.
we won the Gus League, and that's me and my former teammate, holding up the trophy
Nice.
because we had just won it all.
Oh, I love it. And then here's you coaching. So now you coach. So you quit after all these health problems. You ended up
Hmm.
quitting
Hmm.
professional basketball to make a really big difference in people's lives. So here is you at school. What is it like now to be able to help make these kids learn from you? It's got to be really remarkable, I would think.
Oh yes, it is. I coach the middle school level. So the thing I love the most is when I like this past year, I coached my team. I get a FaceTime from somebody. I don't know who it is. Who is this? But I answer anyway. I
Wow.
usually don't answer calls I don't know. I just happen to answer that one. It happened to be my teammate 2 years prior, and he had called me. He said, "Hey, Coach Sims, I'm a sophomore. I'm a captain on varsity. I really want you to come play. I'll send you all the information." And that just, oh my goodness, I can't, I can't put into words what that does to you, but it just does something to you. I'm like, wow, I was, put a foundation in this kid, and now he's going on to high school, fulfilling his dreams, and
Mhm.
loving everything, his whole process. And I just loved hearing that. I almost brought a tear to my eye when he told me
Oh,
that.
I bet. I
So
bet. Well,
happy.
your life has advanced in so many beautiful ways. I was
Mhm,
really happy to get to meet up with you at Memorial Hermann and to
mhm,
meet your cardiologist there who did
mhm.
that incredible procedure. And I got to meet your adorable little one. Here's Pearson. So is Pearson already learning? There we go. And live, we've got him live
Yes,
and in pictures. This doesn't get any better than that.
yes,
Look at that cutie pie. How much does he mean to you?
so much. It means the world to me. To not only have it be blessed to play, but somebody I can teach. Growing up, teach him how to be a man, teach him the right things in life. It's just a
Mhm.
blessing to have this little guy.
Well, and you're already watching those height charts, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Actually, actually, my boy is in a 95th percentile in height, which whew, made me
And
so
no
happy.
surprise, because when I met you, I got to look up at you like this. So tell everybody how tall you are.
I'm 6'8".
Uh-huh. So you're hoping your boy will follow in your basketball
Hopefully,
footsteps, huh?
hopefully. But like me and my lovely wife said, it's his decision. If he don't want to play basketball, it's not going to crush me. He's going to do something. But whatever he chooses to do, we're going to support him. Whatever he does.
Oh, and
If
look
he
at
chooses
this.
basketball,
You're just such a natural here with the baby. This is a pretty cute outfit. Or is mom picking
Mhm.
those out? Or do you have something
Yes,
to
she
do with
does.
that? Yeah.
She does. I'd be lying if I said I picked those out, but she
Oh,
does.
there she is. Let's
Yes,
bring
she
her
is.
in too. Come sit down, sweet girl. Let's talk to you too.
Here she
She's
comes.
being shy. Oh no, there you
Yes, she is.
are. There you
Hi, good
are.
morning.
Good to see you again. This is I'm showing a picture now of when I got to meet you all at Memorial Hermann. It's good to
Mhm.
see you again. Thank you for sharing your family story. How proud are you with how far Evan has come through all of this?
We met at work. So came after all this happened with his strokes and I'm really proud of him. I've gotten to see him, develop as a coach and as a teacher over his years. And we've just grown together. And then we have, of course, here came Pearson. So
and Pearson is just so adorable. Now, I know that you told me you've gotten to watch Pearson witness his father working out, and he's drawn. We see him in this picture. I mean, he's drawn to what Dad's doing. You think he's going to be working out by the time he's one? Are we going to be lifting some soup cans or something?
His dad actually already works out with him. Mm-hmm. Does like jumping jacks and what else do you do?
I do front to back hops, side to side hops, things like that. Teach him how to do a split jack. Next time's gonna be push-ups.
Yeah, how do you do that with the little one? Can you show us? I want to see this to believe.
So it's just I just get him like this, and I'll say we're gonna do 5 front to back hops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me put this in for you so you can see his face.
There we go.
5. Then we'll do side to side hops. Then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do some jumping jacks. Get his arms ready. He loves it. He's a sponge. He's already so smart,
It is all smiles. I think he's telling you with his hand he wants more. I love it.
He's so smart, and anything that we do to him, he tries to emulate it and do it too. So me doing that with him, he's gonna before I know it, he's gonna be out here doing jumping jacks. Hey, Daddy, look.
He'll be doing more push-ups than you. That's impressive. I love it that he's going to have that knowledge just from the time he was born on. It's such a special thing. So what's next? You just enjoying family right now?
Yes, ma'am. Sure am. Next, you mean like next chapter in my life?
Yes, yeah.
The next chapter, eventually, I want to become a coach in high school. Ooh, hey, getting everywhere.
I like that idea, I think.
I want to coach in high school, and eventually I want to become an AD, athletic director, at the collegiate level. So
nice.
That's going to be the next chapter of my life. But to do that, you have to coach for so many years. So there's actually 2 ways you can go about it. You can go the coaching route, or you can go the administration route. So which means how to be an administrator, be around sports. Could either be like in college, they have so many different titles that you can do, and so many different things that you can do to go up to being an AD. But I just took the coaching route, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit of it. So just coaching middle school. I'm going on to my 4th year. This should be my 4th year. I'm going to coach at middle school maybe 5 years, maybe another year. I'll move up to high school and then see how I like it there. Then hopefully, if God willing, I'll move up then from there to college.
That's great. Well, I'm just so thankful you shared your story with us. It's a dramatic one. What a blessing that you're on the other side of all of that. And now looking forward, as far as your health is concerned, now that you had that huge procedure done at Memorial Hermann, you're pretty much considered medical crisis over forever.
So actually, back when I had my first year, I was on a regular aspirin, like the adult dose. I think it's 325 milligrams. Now I'm on a baby aspirin. Once Dr. Herman gave me the procedure and to close the hole, he put me on a baby aspirin. And so I take that every day, and it's no liver issues it does to my liver. So because I do not, you can ask her, I do not like taking pills at all.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. Yeah. Well, congratulations on just a beautiful family and an incredible story. And thank you for sharing your faith with us. I truly think that makes a difference in people's lives. God bless you both.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Really appreciate you being here more than you'll ever know. You have a beautiful, beautiful, sweet baby. Stay in touch. Let me know how things are going. All right.
I will.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. And join us next Wednesday, 12:30. You're going to meet a woman who has been through the unthinkable with her lupus, more symptoms than anybody I have ever heard of, but her faith keeps her going. She is a bright, shining light in our community. She invited me into her home. I got to see where she makes magic happen with her beehives, with her gorgeous garden, and how she talks about Nobody around her ever knows what she's going through. They don't know the pile of medications that she's taking because she just deals with all of that on her own. But her deep faith makes her go through that. So that'll be next week. I hope to see you right here. Have a beautiful day. Be blessed. And I hope you'll join me for the next Lunch for the Soul. Until then, have a great day.